Dating is dead. Is it too late to save it?
2017.
Yeah, this is 7 years ago, almost exactly. This is just a week shy of 7 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, and this dude, he's just calling it out. When I was in my 20s and I had a date, this is what I would do. I'd wake up early like it was Christmas and wash my car. Hand wash. None of this driving through a machine crap. Then I would hand-pick the songs I wanted to play and load the CDs into my 6-disc changer in the trunk.
That's
and I'd
old.
go work out so I felt good about myself. Drive to a movie theater, buy the tickets in advance so we don't have to wait in line. This was before internet. And, of course, dinner reservations were already made. After getting ready, I'd pick her up at her apartment, park my car, walk to the door, and knock. I would compliment her appearance and mean it as we walked to my car. I would open the door for her, and if there was a spark and things went well on the date, she'd get flowers or a note or something she could actually hold in the next few days. Personally, I'd give her something else to hold in the next few days if it were me. But if you're a male in your 20s, you may read this and think, wow, what a loser. Well, okay. But this process is what made dating fun, exciting, romantic, and fulfilling. It made a date a mini event, something to look forward to. It wasn't just about the person. It was about the whole dating experience. But more importantly, it gave two people a real chance because effort was put into it. That's what's missing now. Today, a date is coffee or a drink, but not dinner because what if they don't like their picture? Today, a date is, I'll meet you there. Today, a date is 30-minute Skype call. Today, a date is a general meeting. Or women bringing their friends and expecting you to pay for them.
Correct. Or their kids.
Yeah, I got to love that one. No, well, I'm going to leave my kids at home, then you got to buy them dinner. No, I don't. That's your problem. You're the ones who's walking around with the unsanctioned crotch crickets. You take care of your shit.
I've actually had that pulled on me a couple times.
Yeah. Today, a date is not really a date because there's no such thing anymore. I get that we meet people online now. I get that there's false advertising. I've been catfished, and it sucks. Instead of creating a space for romance, curiosity, build-up, foreplay, and flirting, we just want the punchline. We want to check the boxes as fast as we can because we have options and no patience. We know we can swipe and find another prospect while our date is in the restroom. So dating just becomes a bunch of lottery balls bouncing in the glass box. Phrasing. Except the lottery balls are faces and the glass box is our phone. How do we change this?
Okay.
It's going to require something that women will never mesh up with. Accountability. Do we still? Is that the same notepad that has with the women and accountability Venn diagram on it, or is that on the bar?
It's not.
I'm going to go and grab that. I'm going to leave it to you two for now.
Well, hang on. All right. So what he's explaining in the beginning of this is called the full court press. I myself used to pull out the full court press from time to time, and most of the time I got the business, which means you take them out once or twice. And then they stop answering calls and don't return your calls. And you just take the
ghosting.
hint. Yeah. You just take the hint. And that is like the default setting for the way it used to be with dudes. All right.
Yep.
Now, at 55 years old, usually once or twice a month, I will have women that I used to talk to from way back in the day chat me up. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
And I'm cordial.
You're looking good for your age. Yeah.
But listen, I'm 55 years old. I am totally cool with my solitude and the contentment that brings me at this point in my life. I don't want to bring into my 3-ring circus of insanity that I have just by myself, to bring in a 4th ring of insanity, which encompasses hot flashes, menopause, psycho head meds, all of the goddamn health issues. I don't want that. And if you are a woman north of 45 and you're singing the blues, listen, I am going to tell you I am sorry because I'm trying to be nice, but I'm going to be kind at the same time and tell you that the men that would be with you today were there when you were in your 20s to late teens. You put a knife in their back. You made them, put their feet in concrete and put them in the friend zone. And now they're gone. And you can't unring that bell. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. You did it to yourself.
Yep. And when you look at this other article here that we got from, I believe it is Medium, you sent me this one here. It's called Why Modern Dating is Terrible.
Oh, this is
Go down
bad.
here.
This
Statistics don't lie. Average age of marriage has risen to over 30 in most developed nations. I was mentioning that earlier. Mm-hmm. So you get the 7-year itch, you're already past the wall.
Yep.
More than half of all marriages end in divorce, and 80% of divorces are filed by women, 90% if they're college educated.
Bingo.
Birth rates are at an all-time low. Abortion, birth control. 2/3 of young men, 1/3 of young women aged 18 to 29 are lonely in the U.S. Sexlessness is rising sharply as well. More and more people, up to 20%, are reporting having no close friendships at all.
That's terrible.
Now,
As a dude,
you go,
you need to have your bros, man.
yeah, absolutely.
Like
'Cause you can't live your life on a computer, and that's what a lot of these guys are trying to do.
Fortunately, because of my military service, I have a whole bunch of dudes that are literally the equivalent of brothers to me.
Yeah, I as well.
Yes,
I wasn't in the military, but I have a lot of really close buddies.
Many times as one of my baby brothers.
Yes.
Just like Steve.
Yep. And I was saying earlier that one of the biggest issues that we have here is that, we are post-Me Too era.
Yes.
Men are officially scared of approaching women because of how they're acting, especially on social media. Every chick who goes to the gym dressed like a stripper will assume that you are being a creep if you're just trying to help her out or ask her a question. And that's why women in accountability are a Venn diagram that will never overlap. So you can see right here. And the two inner circles here, as the one on the accountability side, that's responsibility, and the one on the inner side here on the women's side, that's narcissism. Tits.
That's all it is. 100%.
That's
man.
how it goes.
Yeah.
So now, men would gladly start doing all of that stuff that first dude was talking about. We would love to be able to, wash our car, get ready to go, dress nice for you, bring you some flowers and whatnot, if it was worth it.
Not.
And most of it's just not anymore.
I've had more, especially I lost because of the divorce I had. I lost a lot of the friends that I had.
That's very common.
Yeah.
But I genuinely kind of enjoy being fucking alone. People think it's weird, and it's no, I just I don't.
no, dude.
I'm okay alone. I'm it's becoming overly addicting.
You get used to it.
Yeah, it's I don't want my peace shattered. My daughter's with me half the time.
Yeah.
She's kind of introverted. I have peace, and that's one thing. Even I've yet to be able to have I'm less stressed single.
Yes.
It's just, and even some of the friends that I had with the backstabbing, it's fuck it, I'm better off alone.
What are some other stats in this one here?
That was one of them right there. But one of the things that I wanted to point out here is that a lot of others, especially younger men, are entertaining the idea of or already moving to certain third world countries, i.e. passport bros, where women's rights and place in society still resemble that of the early 20th century, places where women still mostly rely on men for survival. I'm going to be completely honest with the author of this article. That never will change.
Correct.
These women who think they're strong and independent are just average adults, but most of them are resource leeches and government payout hogs. Tax me harder, daddy. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not strong and independent. You're an average adult.
When you look at the professions of men, they are builders of the civilization, or they maintain the civilization, or they protect the civilization.
Women love, these feminists love posting these, these hot takes no one asked for on the internet. It's well, now that we have all this, what do we need men for? To maintain it.
Yeah.
If there were no men, your electric grids would go down, your water supply would dry up, just like your eggs.
And here's another thing.
You can just keep going on down the list. Natural gas, and I'm not talking about what happens after you visit the taco truck, all right?
When I was in college in the mid to late 90s, I had to take this civics class. His professor's name was Vince Capoya. He was from South Africa.
Capoya.
And I wouldn't say he was or a huge liberal. He was more like a centrist. But every time subjects like this would come up, he always called on me for the right side opinion. And this particular day, these women were up there bitching about women in the military, not being able to be cops or firefighters. And then he points to me and goes, "Hey, Pop, what is your take on this?" And this is the way I responded. You are a block away from your house. You just got a call from your kids who are in that house and it is on fire and they can't get out. Who do you want to see roll up there to save your children? And be honest, 3 or 4 dudes who are 6 feet plus, 220, full of muscles, swinging axes and being able to kick down doors, casual strength kind of shit, or 4 to 6 135-pound women to save your children. Now, be mindful. This is the lives of your children. Now, when I said that in class, I turned around and virtually all of the dudes are like, I want the dudes to show up. And then you have those 3 or 4 hardcore feminists back then. Well, it all depends upon their training. No,
there's no nuance here.
no. I have watched dudes when doing, mount training run through walls between the studs, like literally through 2 layers of drywall, just punch right through, walk right through. I've watched them grab and rip doors off the hinges or John Wayne doors open with a casual kick. A 130-pound woman is not going to be able to do that. Of course, you could go get a hooligan tool or one of those hydraulic jaw things, but that takes time.
And it takes a lot of strength just to move those things around.
Yes, but it takes, and a lot of times when it's life and death, you don't have the luxury of time.
No.
And it's just that simple. When you boil it down, life and death, that is the explanation you should always give these crazy psycho feminoids.
Or you could just play back the footage of the boxing fight that we talked about.
Yeah.
A prime athlete in her class going up against a mediocre dude and getting just clubbered in 45 seconds.
It was 57.
No, it was literally 46 seconds.
46?
It was 46 seconds.
Less than a minute.
Like,
Let's
wow.
just be honest.
I'm going to double check it just to make sure if I remember. Yeah, 46 seconds into the fight.
Wow.
2 punches, done. From a mediocre athlete who couldn't compete against other men.
And they came after John McEnroe a couple years ago when he was talking about Serena Williams playing tennis. And they're like, so do you think Serena could beat you? And he's like, no.
No.
Even at this age I'm at,
No.
not going to happen.
Even when Serena and Venus Williams said, like, we can beat any man as long as he's ranked under 200.
Correct.
And then the dude, it was like 240, something like that, was like drinking whiskey and smoking cigarettes, and he nuked them both. It was the funniest shit ever. And you still have these idiot ideologues being like, well, they're the best athletes ever. I'm like, unless you count the dude who like smoked and joked his way through nuking these chicks in 2 straight matches.
Yeah.
And he would be considered mediocre at the professional level because he wasn't even ranked 200.
Yeah, and they probably referred to him as a misogynist because he dared defeat these women.
The thing is, it was Serena and Venus actually, they were cool with it.
Yeah.
They were buddy-buddy with him. They're taking pictures with him afterwards.
Yeah.
They're joking around and whatnot. They knew.
Yeah.
They knew what was going to happen.
Listen, when reality shows up, it doesn't care what your belief or your feelings are. It doesn't give a shit anything about that. It's there to execute the will of Darwin.
Yes.
And either you're strong and fast enough to get away or you're not, and you need a individual, a man, to stand in for you and protect you.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.